my friends? Welcome back to another episode of the Find a Way podcast with Dusty. Hopefully you're doing well on your journey. Checking in. It's been quite a while since I've done an episode. Just out of the flow of things, especially with the holiday and the traveling and the trip. In the beginning of December, went to California for a week, played the Grinch, and spent time with my wife's family. And then from there, the weekend after, went to Huntsville, Alabama to pace the Rocket City Marathon. And then shortly after that, now Christmas has just passed and getting ready for New Year. And just the busyness of everything. So hopefully you and your holiday, your time with family, your time around the Christmas, Thanksgiving, all that was good. For my particular journey, I think it's almost like I'm going through a shift of seasons and a shift of focus. Coming now out of surgery for 7 months. It's been 7 months since my loose skin surgery for my chest. And that recovery was actually quite a bit different than the first one in that I was really touting the fact that I was recovering so much easier this go around. But it felt like the recovery was easier the second time, but the recovery was longer. And it felt like it took me out of like my element of getting back into things, like the swing of things. I had excessively ran in the month of September to really kind of get ready for the Mo Cowbell Marathon in October. And man, I was dying at that marathon, and I'm glad I finished it. I was on time. It was great. I'm noticing that like the quicker times that I need to pace, like when I'm pacing a 2-hour half marathon, the one I did a few weeks ago, I was dying. Like I was gasping for air doing this. And I'm like, what in the world? Like I'm a pacer, so I'm supposed to pace that time, and I'm supposed to cruise. And it was rough. And so actually next weekend I'm doing another 2-hour half marathon that I'm pacing. And I'm really hoping I am not going to... Really, the one before, they mismarked the mile markers. So it was actually quite a bit short. And so I got to actually slow down significantly on other miles, which helped tremendously. And so... I don't think they're going to do this on this one coming up next weekend. So let's just hope for the best. Hope for the best. And then really the only two other pacing gigs that I've got is the 24th, the Classic City Marathon in Athens, Georgia. Gets a chance for my wife and I and the kids to go down to Georgia to visit my parents. And then I'll get a chance to pace that marathon. And then I'm doing the hot chocolate run. Instead of actually running the 10K, I'm going to be pacing the 15K at the 9-minute and 30-second mark. So I've really got those 3 pacing gigs, and that's it. And I think that really kind of captures how things are really going to shift, in that Body's race company, who puts on, I think, the 14 races during the year in Nashville, usually the ones that I get a chance to pace, they're no longer working with Beast Pacing. I think there may be drama there, but I haven't been able to find it online, if I'm honest. I've looked, and I haven't really been able to see the drama. But Bodies is actually doing something called Racing Buddies, which is like a pacing. It's not a pacer, but it's someone that sticks with you at a particular time and encourages you. I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know what it is. It's kind of weird. And how they're explaining it. It might be awesome, but initially, first, impressions are, this is not a pacing group. You're not working with Beast Pacing anymore. But it's, I don't know, it's just different. So with that, Beast and Bodies not working together, a lot of the pacing gigs that I had during the year are now gone. And there were 2 opportunities to pace the Atlanta Marathon in March, but they wanted me to be a part of the Atlanta Track Club. Like, I need a membership with the Atlanta Track Club in order to pace. And they're like, well, consider signing up for a membership. It's like, I don't want to, like, pacing is a service. It's something that I provide, and it's absolutely free. The only thing that you do is essentially pay for my race registration, and I will be happy to pace whatever time you assign to me. But then when they attach where you've got to be a member, it's like, that really kind of takes away the volunteer um, kind of helping out, because you're required to be a member. I've never heard of that in any other pacing opportunity, that you had to be a member of some group in order to pace, but that's what it was. So I didn't get a chance to get attached to that pacing opportunity. And then the St. Louis Marathon, um, I think I'm just going to be getting away from pacing. Really, I've done 10 marathons. I'll be doing 11 the end of January. I've done 5, 10, 15 Ks. I've done all these race distances. I think I really need to shift actually now over to more of a strength training. And what I've noticed, and this is kind of a shift that if you were a runner to pay attention to, is that I think because I struggled with eating for so long, and that binging or making sure that I had enough, you have to fuel to do longer distances and longer runs. You've got to fuel for it. And usually it's a very high sugar and carb content. And what I've noticed is that because of my elongated running, my eating habits have really significantly changed, and that I'm really more of a snack, more of a nibble. I've got to intake these carbs and sugars, so I, intake a lot more candy, a lot more goos, a lot more of these, nutrition packs to get me through my runs. And I'm doing these longer runs and these longer preparatory practice runs, setup runs, that my eating habits, I feel, have changed to where I'm actually hungry more because of running. And if I don't necessarily make the, complete protein choice, and honestly, I feel like I'm more drawn to carbs and sugar because I have carbs and sugar so much in order to run longer distances. And that really has just shifted the flow of what made me successful for so long. And so I really want to approach 2026 in that, where was I, what was I doing, and where was I in 2019, 2018? And it was really a strength training focus. It was minimal running. Like I would run a 5K here and there. I would do a lot of steps, a lot of stairs. I would do I would do a lot of interval running, like where, 30 seconds fast, 30 seconds slower, back and forth. But these longer distances I just did not do. And I think I need to really shift my metabolism, shift my eating habits, shift my routine, which I've talked many times on this, that routine, that thing that you fall back on. Really, my routine has significantly changed with running, and I feel like I'm kind of coming to the end in that season of it. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to run again, but I think I'm going to really scale it back significantly. And really, the only other time I can see myself doing a very longer run is when I prep for a marathon, in which I was really hoping to get into Chicago, and I didn't get into Chicago, so I was like, oh, okay, well, that kind of ruins plans of training and did all this. And, I don't know when the New York Marathon sign-up is, but I'd like to sign up for the New York Marathon. And if I get into that, that'll kind of shift things around in prepping for that particular one. But, we'll see. So with the strength training focus, really, I'm building lean muscle mass. And I have felt that my strength has really gone away with the amount of running that I'm doing. And I really need to get my strength back, need to get my lean muscle mass back. Really need to focus on just really strength training, bodybuilding, like I was in 2018, 2019. I think that's really going to help me get towards more of the body aesthetic that I'm looking for. I feel like I'm carrying extra weights. I feel like I'm just, I feel thicker, if that makes sense. And I just need to get into the routine of strength training. It is such an allure to go running. There's a lot of mental health benefits to longer running, but I think it's really time for me to dial into strength training and get back into that routine and really see how my body can transform. I'm still only 7 months, which, crazy enough, 7 months since skin surgery, so I'm not even a full year and I think I can really give myself the next 5 months, really right before a year's time frame to really focus on strength training and really getting my strength up and stuff like that. So that's really where the tail end of this year has really taken me. My approach to health and fitness and nutrition and everything that I've been focused on the past honestly, it was October 2022. So really, I've spent the past 3 years running, and I've had to scale it back whenever I've had surgery, and then dial it back in, scale it back, and dial it back in. I think for me now, that's really kind of the season that I'm going to go into now, and how that really pertains to what I've been sharing on social media is a lot of my journey has been shared. Everything that I've kind of had an idea about or thought about is really out there. And so, do I come to a point where I've shared the journey? I've what else is there left to share? I'm not very forthcoming with my day-to-day. I try to share as much as I can, but there's a lot of folks that I see that just share their intricate details of their day-to-day, sharing their kids and just every decision that they make. And I don't know, I've just not been drawn to that. I've tried that and I've done that, and it's just, there's a level of privacy that I feel that I want to maintain. And it's very difficult. Contractual obligations with brands and folks that I'm connected with. I want to make sure that I'm honorable and I have integrity with them, that I'm not just leaving them high and dry. But I don't know. I don't know what the next few months look like. I've always wanted to be helpful, and I've really cherished the friendships and the connections and the people that I've met and that I've been able to share life with. When my wife and I shared that we lost our third baby, it was so special to us, all the individuals that reached out and really made us feel just brought comfort with their words and their prayers. And I've had folks actually separately check in. Hey, it's been a few months, checking in. I don't get that really in day to day. Being here in Tennessee, we don't really have many face-to-face friends that we spend time with, and so it's connections that I've built through Instagram that have really been, friendships that I've cherished and have really helped my journey. And so I just don't know what it looks like. I don't know what I could share before and after, but I've shared hundreds. I could post memes again. I could post this. It's just, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. But I know that the journey is really changing in focus, really getting into a routine that I was back in 2018, 2019. Really, how running has shifted things for me, really kind of shifting things back to where I was really successful and consistent. And I think that's going to be really, really good for me. I think I really want to do that. And as an encouragement, it's like you're not. I guess you say the phrase, you're not ever going to figure it out. Like I feel like that's what it is. Like there's never been a figure it out. Like I'm figuring things out, but I feel like I haven't figured it out, and I'm still trying to figure myself out. And honestly, there's been a shift as well. I think after the age of 40, things shifted for me in my body and how my body responds to different things. I feel like I crossed a threshold when I hit 40 where things that I took for granted in my 30s, I just really can't take those for granted now in my 40s, and how much things have just shifted. So, I don't know, like figuring things out as things change, as I change, as I go through life and go through changes. The kids are growing. My son's going to be 3 in March, and my daughter it just turned 5, And so they're just completely different in how we have time to do things and raising them. Like, hey, if we wanted to go to the Greenway and go um, ride our bikes, that's a lot more plausible versus my son being 6 months. There are intricacies and there are things that are changed and that are different that, now I'm figuring things out and finding a way to really prioritize meals. I think one thing I've really just learned is that you can't outwork a bad diet. You can work out and work out and work out. You can run, you can run, you can run. But from a nutrition standpoint, because I've been drawn to more carbs and sugar because of my running journey, it's like things have shifted that even though I'm running a marathon a month, I ran one in October, 2 in November, 1 in December. I'm going to run 1 in January. It's like 1, if not 2 a month for the past 3 or 4 months. It's not like I'm the skinniest I've ever been. Like, it's crazy how things have shifted, especially when you think about how much running and how much exercise I'm doing to get ready. That things should be just melting off, and it's not. The weight just doesn't melt off because I'm doing all this running. Nutrition is so important in that I can sabotage easily a day at the gym by 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, I can sabotage a whole workout. I wish that was so reverse. Right? Like, you work out for 3 hours, it's like, man, that should negate anything and everything that you should have that day, eating-wise. But sadly, it's not true. It's, oh, look, you're going to have that hamburger? Great. That's going to be 6 hours in the gym equivalent. It's like, oh, come on. I don't have 6 hours, but I want the hamburger. Like, come on. So, that's what's so tough about the journey is the nutrition. Like, dialing in the nutrition when you know that no matter how much you work out, if your nutrition is not dialed in, it's not going to turn out well. Like, again, I say, no matter how well you work out and how long, if your nutrition is not dialed in, it's just not going to turn out good. And it stinks. Like, it just stinks. Yeah. But that's that's really where things are at for me in my journey. Hopefully, you're making progress. With all our variety of journeys and where we're putting our focus. Starting the journey for some. Some of you have been on the journey for quite a while, and changing and molding and figuring it out like I am. Just hoping this is a good kind of overall update. And I think as a good takeaway for this particular episode is you really find your niche for your body type and your success. For some, the journey that I'm on of continuing to run, that may be the thing. And, maybe during your journey there was no strength training whatsoever. It was just strictly starting to run. Well, if it's still running, it's still running. It's not, hey, running is not going to be a good choice if you want, a good body aesthetic or like, I know and I've learned what uniquely works for me and what I really enjoyed and where I really found a good rhythm, a good groove. And so I think this is just another encouragement of, hey, I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring out the groove and the rhythm and what I've enjoyed. And I've taken running and I've really enjoyed the accomplishments and the finish lines that I've crossed and the accomplishments. But now, as I shift out of pacing, because there's not many opportunities, I still pace, but since there's not as much, really dial into the rhythm of strength training, really building up something. And so we'll see how that goes. As I continue to check in and do these podcasts, I'll let you know month over month, how things are performing, how things are going, and we'll talk it out. We'll figure it out together. So. Just want to say thanks for listening to this episode. If you're a faithful listener, I appreciate you. Thanks for dialing in to this episode, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Take care.